Hi, I'm Peter Meredith, and welcome to the Writer's Review. Today we are taking a closer look at The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1. It's a good one, a little. I want to start by saying that this is my second attempt at this review. My first one was too negative, especially since after watching it the first time, my exact words were, "That wasn't as bad as I thought it would be." I even ticked off the positives. I thought the sheriff was really good. I liked the dragon, it was pretty damn fantastic, and Baby Yoda was cute as always. Stace, was there anything else?
No.
The scenery was good.
Nothing wrong with making friends with trees. Now, what you don't want to do is eat these paints.
So the point is, I came away trying to find the positives, and I'm going to continue that attitude throughout this entire review. So the show starts with Mando walking through some deserted town looking all badass.
That's right, we bad, that's right.
And he is badass. Let's not pretend otherwise. Offensively, he's a juggernaut, so that taking 8 or 9 men at a time is nothing. Also, it appears that very little can hurt him, including being swallowed by a dragon, as we will see. And the one time he did get hurt, a little puff of wacky tobacco heals him in a second. All positive things. He's in town looking for other Mandalorians. Now, I know you might say that it's strange that a Mandalorian, who is always crisscrossing the galaxy, going here and there, doesn't know where any other Mandalorians are, but being the positive person I am, I just want to say how skillful it was for the writers to circumvent logic. Zwip! Right around. Nice. He and Baby Yoda go to some club where there's a fight going on, and right off I see more positivity as these two fat space orcs with axes take turns swinging at each other. Some would say that they look fake and tired and maybe uninspired or just dull, but not me. I would never question why one of them just swung 2 feet over the other guy's head. People do that in fights because safety first. Mando talks to some alien mob boss who decides to kill the space orc that's winning the fight. Normally I would have said that's so stupid for an entire mess of reasons, but I'm not going to say that's so stupid. See? And it proved a point. The guy isn't just run-of-the-mill evil. He's
Dr. Evil. I didn't spend 6 years in evil medical school to be called Mr. Thank you very much.
Either way, Mando is surrounded by bad guys. Again. With 5 guns pointed right at him, the writers save a lot of money by just duplicating a scene they had already written last season. But they changed it up to keep it fresh. The bad guy says, "Give me your armor," not "Give me the baby." Right? Pretty cool. Mind blown. Now I know the boss just proved his super evilness by killing a space orc, and there's no way he'll let Mando live to enact some sort of revenge, so it makes sense to just shoot him right there. Except, on a positive note, Mando uses his mini rockets, and no one reflexively pulls their trigger, which is pretty convenient. Convenient in a positive way, though. A giant fight ensues, and I think it's positive that unarmed people try to take on one of the deadliest men in the galaxy by punching him in his thick metal helmet, because who would expect that?
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
I would go for the throat or grapple him until everyone else piled on. But I'm here filming this review while they're in Hollywood, so clearly they know what they're doing. Strangely, punching a man in the armor doesn't work, and Mando wins. The big boss has run away, but Mando catches him. "Tell me where a Mandalorian is, and you won't die by my hand," Mando says. The guy tells him, and then Mando leaves him strung up to be eaten alive. Technically, he didn't lie.
I know that. You don't think I know that? Mr. Thurm.
Except it was his hand that strung him up there. So I guess technically that wasn't yet another evil act?
Can you? You don't think I know that? That's so funny that you don't think I know that. Why would you think I know that? Is it me or is it him? I don't know.
Apparently, there's a Mando on Tatooine. So we have to, we get to see Bilbo with tits again. What did you say when you saw Bilbo with tits?
Oh, God.
That's not very positive. Now I know I said Bilbo with Tits' acting sucked last time. And because of her dismal performance, she decided to reduce expenditures on acting lessons.
Apparently, I've never been on live television before.
Apparently. She grabs up Baby Yoda, and I think she's there for babysitting duty again. But no, Mando keeps him, and that's good. Instead of disappearing altogether, Baby Yoda plays an important role as space luggage. Think of him as a very cute carry-on that the camera cuts to every once in a while, so we know he's still part of the show. So Mando asks Bilbo with Tits about some town, and her reply is, "Depends who's asking." Mando? Didn't he just... I know you didn't see his lips moving because of the helmet. It was him, though. That's so stupid. I mean, no. Bad Baby Yoda. So the town is a mining settlement, and Bilbo with Tits says, "They're going to see that big hunk of metal long before you land." Didn't she just say that the bandits wiped it off the map? Don't we expect it to be deserted or nearly so? And who cares if they see it? They're going to see him one way or another. He is walking around in all that Beskar armor. So this doesn't make sense, unless you're smart like a Mandalorian writer. They need to pad the runtime, so instead of flying about, they're going to have Mando slowly go through a desert. And there just might be some sort of monster that he could kill with a spaceship.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
And it would be too easy using the Razor Crest. I know I'd rather think Mando's an idiot than have an easy fight. Mando gets to the lost town, and it appears no one has cable TV, or jobs of any sort, since they all just sit out on their porches, giving Mando the stink eye.
What are you looking at, ass?
Nothing, sir.
Like every adventurer, he goes to the local tavern and talks to the NPC bartender about a Mandalorian. And who should walk in? Sheriff Slimbody, wearing what appears to be his daddy's Mandalorian armor. It doesn't fit and makes him look kind of stupid, which actually is okay. And this time I mean it. Armor isn't one size fits all, so what if it doesn't fit him? For some reason, Mando demands the few pieces of crappy old armor because this is the way. Now, it's actually a good thing that their code is to kill anyone who won't give up armor that was fairly and lawfully purchased, even if that person is good and or innocent. It's good because... it's positive, I mean.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
They're about to fight over the armor when the dragon suddenly shows up. It snakes its way through the sand right down Main Street, and it's pretty awesome. So, Sheriff Slimbody makes Mando a deal that would be very, very, very easy to refuse.
Remember, the instant you finish it, I own your soul for...
Help him kill this giant, acid-spitting, town-destroying, monstrous dragon, and he'll give Mando the crappy old useless armor that we'll never see again.
Oh, hell no!
Yes, Mando is supposed to be protecting Baby Yoda, and he's supposed to be finding other little green wrinkled testicles with oversized eyes, and he is being hunted by Darth Urkel, and all the people in this crappy town are dicks, so clearly his answer to this terrible bargain is, sure. The writers want him to fight a dragon, and fighting dragons is cool, so just go with it. Mando suggests using his ship to blow it out of the ground. Finally, Mando is using his head. Nice.
Now you start using your head! That's that lump that's 3 feet above your ass!
But not so fast. It seems the dragon will be able to sense the ship when it flies overhead. From underground, I guess. Sure, maybe at 50 feet up, I guess I can see that. But what about 100 feet? Or 200 feet? We know the range on the ship's guns are...
Stop! Stop it!
The dragon is magic. That's all we need to know. On the way to the dragon, Sheriff Slimbody gives us his backstory because we really care about this nothing of a town. I care. I really care. I don't care. Sheriff Slimbody says most Pelgo became a slave camp overnight, and here's where the writers are kind enough to keep us on our toes, because we see in his flashback that the bad guys come into the tavern and just start shooting everyone. They kill everyone. All their slaves. They just kill their new slaves. Yes, slaves work a lot harder when they're alive, but then again, dead slaves don't complain as much.
True, because what could this dude do? Look at him. What could he pick? A cotton plant is like this tall. Yes.
The two here sand people, instead of riding away, they pull out their guns, ready to kill. But don't forget, Mando knows sign language. And the sand people pop out by the dozen, and now we find out he also speaks sand people talk like he was a native. And who doesn't love a long, long, long scene where everyone says, "Rah, rah, rah," over and over and over? On an even more positive note, thankfully the scene ends. And they take a trip out to the dragon's pit where we get to see the monster again. Awesome. It's a crabby monster and ignores a giant tasty bantha and instead eats a little sand dude. This leads to a lot more talk. Stacy? You know I'm going to ask you. Can you talk like a sand person for me? That wasn't bad. That really wasn't bad at all. And on the plus side, once again, I start looking forward to the next scene. So the plan is to get the townspeople and the sand people to put their differences aside and fight the dragon together. Now, the sand people have been studying the dragon forever and they know its weak spot, its tummy. Awesome, going with a classic. Even if they stole the shit out of it? The plan is to bury mining explosives, draw the dragon out, and when it passes over the bombs, blow it up. Now, we just watched a scene where the dragon ate a guy for waking it up. So clearly the best plan would be for Mando and his jetpack to call it out and then fly away just as it goes over the bombs. Smart! Except we still have 10 more minutes of runtime, so that's out. The writers conveniently have Mando be, shall we say, less than smart. Anyway, they bury the bombs and call the monster out with everyone standing just about 100 yards away from its hole. They're right out in the open. They could be in the rocks. That's where I'd be. Would you be right out in the open there, standing there with your little gun?
Pew, pew, pew.
You would? Mando and Sheriff Slimbody, despite that they have the best armor and weapons, stay far in the rear, right next to a bantha loaded with bombs. I wonder why they didn't use those bombs in the trap. And why are they back there instead of out in front? Mando's always in front. It's fight time, and now the director decides to have some really poor actors on set, clearly so the dragon looks better by comparison. When the camera pans to the fighters, they're just standing around. No one is shooting. No one is reloading the ballistas. No one seems scared or even concerned. Then we get an amazing choice of shot where 3 sand people grab hold of ropes to keep the monster from going back into its hole. 3 dudes against 70 tons of dragon. Normally I would say that's so stupid. Not this time. But on a positive note, it does make the dragon mad. It rears up over 3 guys who are just sort of standing there doing absolutely nothing and pukes out a gout of acid, which is cool and not an overkill at all. They do call it a dragon, and dragons have rules.
Dragon, not lizard. I don't do that tongue thing.
So they blow it up, and we all know that it didn't die because Mando didn't kill it. And yep, it pops out of a mountain and pukes up more acid, so clearly it's time to run away. I mean, Mando and Sheriff Slimbody know that 100 pounds of bombs and stupid giant spears don't work, and they also saw that blasters don't do a damn thing. Like, absolutely nothing. Using blasters again would be really, really dumb. So what do? They fly over and shoot it with blasters, and that's good.
If you can't say something nice.
But at least the 2 flying around looks really cool, and it does.
Jesus, it was down and it went up and went right over my van. Thank you, Lord.
All they do is get the monster even more mad, so they fly down and land right next to a bomb-covered bantha. The bantha is just standing there, completely oblivious to the entire battle. Now right then, the monster pops up out of the sand, causing the earth to shake and roaring loud enough to wake the dead, and Mando says, "There he is." Thanks, Mando. We wouldn't have noticed him without you pointing him out. Right then, we get reminded that Baby Yoda is still in the show. He's tucked away like baggage, sitting in Mando's speeder, which is right there a prime target for the dragon. I know Mando's supposed to be protecting Baby Yoda, so he keeps him close while fighting an unpredictable giant acid-spitting dragon. That's smart thinking. Anywho, Mando finally gets the hint about the bantha with all the bombs. and entices the dragon to eat it. And here comes the only part of the show that I was surprised about. All the rest of us saw this coming a mile away, but who knew that Mando would just stand there and let himself get eaten too?
What? What?
I particularly like how this makes no sense at all. I like surprises, even ones that just confuse the crap out of me. It also surprises everyone else, because once again we have extras just standing around watching. So we knew the monster was going to eat the bombs because we've seen this very thing time and again, over and over again. Some would call this plagiarism, or played out, or trite, but I like to see it as a form of recycling, and recycling is good. Now, in all these recycled scenes, we know the hero lives. But how the hell is Mando going to survive an acid environment, and giant teeth, and being crushed up next to a 10,000-pound bantha, and who knows how much sand and dirt and boulders? Anyone else would surely be dead, especially since he's in the thing's belly for a full 40 seconds. And yes, I actually counted. And during that time, the extras just sort of stand around in confusion. Eventually, the dragon bursts up, and Mando pops out of his mouth and blows up the creature. What a shocking development.
It's incredible. I think I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise.
By the way, Mando's fine. Yep, he's covered in green goo. The same acid that melted the others doesn't hurt him. And his armor is completely unscratched. Yay! This ending borders on the preposterous.
I don't even know what that word means. Is that a bird?
We cut to the Sand People chopping up the dragon, and once again we have completely lackluster extras. The inside of the dragon must be like red cream cheese, because there's some guy chopping with no effort at all. What is this? How do you chop up a dragon like this? I mean, this is how much he's doing. I mean, it's great. One of the Sand People finds a bowling ball in the meat, and the story ends. Except we see some old dude watching Mando right away. Oh my God, was that Boba Fett? I don't really care, to tell you the truth.
I don't care.
I thought he died when he got eaten by that monster back in Return of the Jedi. But it turns out getting eaten by giant monsters ain't nothing but a thing to Mandalorians.
Look! It's just a flesh wound. Look, stop that! Chicken!
Stacy, what did you think about the old guy standing up on the rock? Yeah. It's like, so, time to rate this. I really like Texas Slim Body. He's one of the better actors we've had so far. And although Baby Yoda is just baggage, he's actually really cute, perhaps more so than usual. And the dragon is very cool, and blowing him up was also very cool. The rest of the episode is either slow-paced or stupid. There's a lot of going back and forth across the desert. The Sand People are annoying, the extras sucked, Bilbo with tits sucked worse, and that ending, I wish they had written something better. I give the writing a 30, the directing gets a dismal 62. The dragon pushes the special effects rating to a 90. Overall, it's worth about a 70, and that's rating on a Mandalorian scale. It's big and shiny, but gosh, it's so stupid sometimes. If you would like an adventure with dragons that is both shiny and smart, I suggest one of the 40 novels I've written, Infinite Reality. There's 100 million online players with thousands of choices, but everyone knows there's only one game, Infinite Reality. When a judge declares it a monopoly, the co-creators become competitors, and then very quickly become murder victims with one thing in common. They were all online when they died. Everything points to the sole surviving creator, Atticus Arching. When the FBI can't find Arching in the real world, they send Agent Daniel Rowan and his team to the other side to track him down, only to find out that the game is more than just a game. And Arching is more than just a computer programmer. He's the most dangerous person in two worlds and can kill in both.